Now you a joke, my ancestors close, I had the moon and shit. Think you booking, hide behind your money, dog. Swerve, 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 shake the curves off. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? It's Snoopy. I'm back. Sorry y'all been gone for a minute, but I just caught a slick cold out of nowhere. Like I don't know what happened, but I'm back, and I'm also here to introduce a new series to y'all called I Got More, where I go into a more extensive review on album that I reacted to on the channel. Not necessarily picking apart the individual tracks on the project, but just giving you how I feel about the project as a whole. And honestly, I don't think there's no other way to start this than with Kendrick Lamar's Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I put Kendrick in the category of artists where when they drop a project, you have to let it sit with you for a little bit of time. Not necessarily meaning that, you know, it's going to grow on you as far as likability or sonically or anything like that, but you're just going to pull more things from the project as time moves forward, as the album grows. That's a little bit of the reason why I'm kind of glad I caught that code, because it gave me enough time to sit with this project, as heavy as it is and as introspective as it is. How heart-wrenching the overall substance of this project is. Just lyrically, you got a lot from Kendrick on this project, and looking back on my expectations video, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be let in all these doors. And with that being said, given that this album has been out almost 3 weeks and I've been able to sit with it and let it grow on me and actually understand the direction he was trying to go in, I love this album. And when I say love, I definitely don't love it in its entirety from top to bottom. There's definitely some gripes I have within the project as far as sonically, lyrically, all that goes into a project. But just given what we've gotten over the past 5 years of his absence, this really shows the artistry of Kendrick Lamar and why I feel like this project was needed at this time. I think I speak for everybody when I say going into this Kendrick Lamar album, nobody knew what to expect. We just knew what we wanted from Kendrick Lamar. I don't think people even knew what they wanted from Kendrick Lamar, but it definitely wasn't this. Because me personally, I wasn't expecting Kendrick to let us this close into his home. I wasn't expecting him to go this in depth within his personal life, because of projects like Damn and Good Kid, Mad City, where he touches on these topics very much so, but he's never gone in depth. He's always been able to stay on the surface of the topic at hand. And I feel like on this project, he didn't stay on the surface at all. He went straight in every time on every single topic. Like right from the start of the album, he lets every single one of his fans know 1,855 days I've been going through something. Like that's all we wanted to know, Kendrick. We just wanted to know if you was going through something. Like we knew it on Damn, but you really didn't tell us like that. I feel like even if you're not a fan of Kendrick, everybody was just sitting back and wondering, where have you been, Kendrick? Like where are you? From that point on throughout this album, every layer you pull back is just another vulnerable side of Kendrick that he's been hiding from us for 5 years. And you know what the problem with me is as a Kendrick fan? I keep saying us, but you know, he made it abundantly clear on this album that, you know, it's not about us. He don't give a fuck about us. He don't give a fuck about you, nigga. It's about him. And he's clearly stating that in a song like Savior. You know, Kendrick made you think about it, but he's not your savior. Cole made you feel empowered, but he's not your savior. Like, the whole picture that Kendrick is painting with this record is just beautiful, because I feel like a lot of his fans need to hear this. A lot of people that support him need to hear this. A lot of people that look at him like Jesus need to hear this. I feel like this song individually humanized Kendrick in the eyes of everybody I just named, you know, all of his fans, all his supporters, because he's letting us know I have my own problems as well. I have my own demons as well. And I feel like that goes for anybody that's held in a high regard in society, whether it's being a rapper, politician, everybody that stands on that proverbial pedestal, I would say, has to come down to real life issues every now and then. Can't hide from it forever. And I feel like this is the album where Kendrick said, I'm done with hiding it. I'm gonna just let it out. So nobody can use it against me, and I don't have to touch on it ever again. I love how on this track Savior as well, where he's sort of calling out his contemporaries. You know, you're biting your tongues on rap lyrics. You know what I'm saying? You're not really a stepper for real. You're not stepping for. Scared to be crucified by a song, but you won't admit it. Politically correct is how you keep an opinion. Oh, and I just love the fact that Kendrick is calling out all these artists that, you know, don't stand for anything in their music or never really stood for anything ever. But one of the points I want to make about Kendrick's artistry and writing, because that does go into this album is 19 tracks long and it doesn't feel like it. Yeah, it's a heavy listen, but I feel like it's a heavy listen because of how heartwarming, theatrical, and introspective his lyrics are. It has nothing to do with sonically, in my opinion, and it just goes to show how great Kendrick's writing is, because within that, there's no filler tracks in a 19-track project, even with the Heart Pop 5 being added. Every lyric matters, every storyline matters, and it keeps you intrigued throughout the whole project. And that's something I can't say for a lot of 19, 20, 25 track projects. And that's what makes this a masterpiece in my opinion. You take a song like Mother I Sober, where in my reaction I compared it to Dying the Third Sing About Me, and I think that was a accurate correlation, being that introspective and transparent he was, talking about the issues that his mother had with abuse, whether it be physical or drug abuse, and having that correlate to, you know, the life he's living now and infidelity he has with his wife, and, you know, the abuse that, you know, that he's dealing with. There's a reason he can give you an almost 7-minute track and you're intrigued the whole way through, and he's able to cultivate these songs and where it's a build up throughout. And you're not just stagnant in a 6-minute, 7-minute track. He's actually getting to a story, getting the uphill and you're getting the decline. And Beth Gibbons, oh my God, her voice get better with every listen. Now within this album, where I would give Kendrick exceptional praise is where I listened to it and I noticed that this album isn't cohesive at all, but he still makes the story make sense. Take songs like Die Hard, Silent Hill, Mr. Morale. None of these songs sound similar in the slightest, but it all makes sense in the storyline of the project. And I would say that's pretty risky coming from Kendrick, because that's something that we've never gotten from him. We know nothing more than anything else. We're going to get a cohesive project from Kendrick Lamar. The story is going to make sense. The songs are going to sound like they fit together. In this project, the story makes sense, but the songs don't necessarily fit together. And I would say I have somewhat a gripe with that. But the reason I would say it's exceptional because it's the closest thing to perfect that you're going to get outside of a cohesive project. Like the amount of beat switches and tone switches and chords and synths, like it was just all over the place. But I loved it. I loved it like I loved every single thing. But I liked it a lot. Now, to me, this is the first album where I saw Kendrick as an actual executive producer. Although To Pimp a Butterfly had features like Bilal, Thundercat, Rhapsody, James Fauntleroy. Those features in my eyes, quote unquote, made sense, and honestly was a little expected once you know the context, content, and music within the album. But on this joint, like who expected Kodak? Like, y'all tell me, y'all expected him? Cause I didn't. I seen pictures, but who was expecting that? Y'all gotta let me know. Put it in the comments. If y'all was expecting Kodak Black, I need to know. And for him not to just be on one track, but he all over this joint. I heard him on Worldwide Steppers, and I'm like, damn. What the hell? This nigga really on here. And just the way Kendrick was able to implement Kodak within the music on this album. Music that's so far distant from anything that Kodak has created. To me, that was genius by Kendrick. And it shows that Kendrick is not so far removed from the street culture or street music like a lot of people think, or the culture in general, because the Hard Part 5, he let us know that he still know what's going on. He see what's happening out here. Yeah, the culture. And him adding Kodak on this project as well just shows that he's not too big-headed to try new things. He's not in his own world, as people would think. He's able to reach out and grab who he wants. You know, it seemed like he wanted Kodak for this position because, like I said in my reaction, it seemed like a lot of other people could have made this same statement that Kodak made on this project. Now, I don't know if many rappers are going to be able to pull off that beautiful spoken word he did on Rich Interlude, but I'm going to just leave that there. With that being said, I wouldn't have cared what young rapper was in this position that Kodak was in. I was just happy that Kendrick is in a place in his career where he's able to help somebody that's in the same genre, but kind of in a different category, because they like to break up categories nowadays. I hate how they do that, but I was just glad that he was able to blend those two genres, they're in the same genre, but blend those two worlds together and create something special, because I feel like this move could have very well pushed Kendrick away from his core audience. But all in all, I love Kodak's contribution on this entire project, whether it's him talking or on the interlude or him actually rapping on Silent Hill. He went crazy on that verse. That's my favorite song on the project. I kind of feel guilty that's my favorite song because I like the more introspective tracks like Auntie Diaries and Mother I Sober, but I play Silent Hill the most. Hold on. Going back to the start of the album for a second, it's just funny how in United in Grief, he's revealing that, you know, he grieves different by buying expensive things. Like, nigga, you ain't the only one. You ain't gotta cry. We all do this. You're regular. Tell about something he watched Keem buy 4 cars in 4 months. Like, it's niggas out here doing it for better or for worse, however you want to slice it. It's niggas out here doing this. I love the piano ending on that track. I had to do some detective work looking into this album because I just had to know who said, tell him the truth. tell him the truth. Who was this person that made you give us this album? Who was this person that was persuading you to tell us the truth? I need to know that. And you know who it was? It was his wife. Thank you, Whitney. I appreciate that. And the only reason I'm saying her first name is because you said on the album, so I'm gonna say it too. I just thank her because I don't think we would have gotten this album if it wasn't for her. Just like I gotta thank Beyonce for 444. Or really, I gotta thank Jay-Z because he's the one that cheated, not her. Well, I don't know what she did. And just bringing up Jay-Z's 444 right now, I drew some correlation and some similarities between these two projects. And the more I listen to this Kendrick Mr. Morale project, the more I draw the same similarities. The more I look at these albums as somewhat a diary for a man that has humongous ego, which I feel like both of these two have. I feel like these two albums are a timestamp in both of these gentlemen's career as far as, you know, talking about everything they haven't talked about their entire career. You take a guy like Jay-Z, which is one of my favorite artists as well. I just got to throw that out there. A person that has built their career off money and ego and flashiness and everything outside of what 444 represents, and you put the pressure on them. And I feel like with Jay-Z, the pressure on him was Beyonce. You know, you got to say something, nigga. I said something, so you got to clear your shit up too. You cheated. Be honest with your fans. Be honest. And I feel like within that journey of honesty, of infidelity, Jay-Z found other flaws within his character. That's what the correlation is for me. This is Kendrick finding other flaws within his character throughout this album. I think that's why it took him 5 years, because he wasn't really sure what was wrong with him. And once he gets to that point in the album, that's when you get Eckhart Tolle to come in, a German self-help guru, to help him find his way through these cracks in the album. And that's what I pulled a lot from disc 1, where it seemed like a lot of erratic thoughts of Kendrick being thrown out there, not really sure where he wanted to go with the project. Not saying that he didn't know where to go, because he obviously knew where to go with the project, but on disc 1, there was a lot of references and his thoughts about what's going on in the outside world, and not him personally. Kind of directing most of his aggressive energy towards other people rather than looking deeper within himself. And I feel like that's where a lot of the tap dancing comes in. Tap dancing around what you're really trying to get to. Let's get to the point. Let's get to the Auntie Diaries. Let's get to the Mother I Sober. Like at the beginning of N95, where he's telling people, take off the clout chase, take off the Wi-Fi. Like, no. This is not what you want to talk about. Let's get to it. Stop tap dancing. And that's just a creative element that I love throughout this project. It took me a while for me to get the whole tap dancing thing. Probably still don't have it down packed, but I think it's just him tap dancing around what he's really trying to get to in this too, or tap dancing around the issue at hand. Now, is it just me, or on the song Worldwide Steppers, he comes off as sort of a villain when he's talking about his kid? Life as a protective father, I'll kill for her. Like okay, bro. Like nobody's gonna do anything. One of the gripes I do have with this album is that I feel like it's too many actual experiences on this album experiences, rather than good songs. I look at Worldwide Steppers as a great experience within the album, but the 18 to 20 times I've listened to this, I probably skipped it about 6 to 7. I've come to grips that I don't like the song sonically, so I'm probably not gonna go back to it unless I'm listening to the album from top to bottom, and I want to get that whole experience again. And the same goes for Rich Interlude and We Cry Together. Like, I love We Cry Together, bruh. Like, I love it, but within the album, you know, I don't love it because it's not an actual song. I felt that it was so creative and so thought-provoking and so forward-thinking. An actual play within a song, but it's actually a song within a play. Like, that's fire. We Cry Together is why we needed Kendrick back outside. He's back to inspire people artistically again. Because honestly, it's been pretty stagnant. Like, I'm not gonna say for the past 5 years, but probably for the past 2. I'm telling you right now, if Taylor Page don't get some type of award for this performance, I give up on award shows. Like, I pretty much already gave up on them, but this is gonna make me move even more distant from that. The accurateness in the acting, the delivery, the emotion, it was all there, and it was perfect for what Kendrick was trying to set up in this quote-unquote stage play. But with that being said, sorry, Taylor, I don't want you screaming in my ear every time I listen to the album. So that's a skip. But as far as moments, that's at the top of my list as far as hip-hop goes this year, by far. I was kind of looking on the internet as far as trying to see what were people saying about the album, probably about 3-4 days after I listened to it. And I was kind of surprised on why people didn't like this project. I felt that it brought so many moments, so many highlight moments to the year 2022 alone that I feel like we were thirsting for. Outside of artists like The Weeknd, Saba, Denzel Curry, I really feel like we've been relieved from a lot of artistic moments this year alone. Like, to me, it really does sound like it took 5 years for him to cultivate this entire thing. Outside of songs like Silent Hill and Die Hard, the more simple tracks, Purple Hearts, I think everything else, it took a lot more of brain damage and brain control to put together all these tracks and sequencing and making it make sense and figuring out what you want to disclose or what you want to keep behind closed doors. And I feel like Kendrick didn't keep anything behind closed doors as far as this album goes. I feel like we know everything we need to know. But yeah, a few days after, I was just kind of looking on Twitter and seeing other people's opinions or, you know, why they don't like the project. But I love this thing, man. A song like Father Time, where he's playing with the perspective of him as a child and him as an adult and his father's perspective. It's just so much mixed into one track that you have to respect. You have to respect the writing. You have to respect the storytelling. I love the instrumentation throughout this track, especially in the beginning where it has some soft violin chords and then it transitions straight into some rumbling piano keys. Like, just no filler moments within the production as well. Like, this is one of my favorites, Father Time. So relatable. I just love that Kendrick was the one to create this dialogue between black sons and black fathers on, you know, how what a black father can teach you may not be the best moving forward. Daddy issues hit my emotions. Couldn't express myself. Men should never show feelings. Being sensitive never help. And that's another thing I love about Kendrick. He's able to create that world for the kids in the hood that are trying to get out. They're trying to create a better world for themselves to be the creative person inside that they were afraid to show on the outside because of the community that they were around. That's something that attached me to Kendrick early on, and one of the reasons he is one of my favorite rappers nowadays, because he's able to give you that bird's eye view of a good kid from a mad city. I know we're on his 5th studio album, but I feel like that's always going to pour out of Kendrick, especially when he's talking about trauma or, for that matter, breaking generational trauma in this project. And I would say that's why I relate to Kendrick the most, because I'm that good kid from that mad city. So when he says lines like, daddy issues made me learn losses, I don't take those well, like, that shit hit. To wrap this up, because I already know I've been talking for a long time, I think Kendrick was a great conductor in building this whole project, because you can tell by the features that everybody played into the theme. Everybody played into what Kendrick was trying to get across as far as the concept. And it was him. It was all about him. And I feel like everybody played their role really great. As far as the features goes, Baby Keem placed on the Savior interlude, I'm still really not a big fan of, but I love his hook on Savior, the song. I love his hook. Like, I didn't like it at first either. Like, a lot of Baby Keem's contribution to this album, I really didn't like off first listen. You can see the reaction and see I don't like it. The interlude, even though I'm still not going to go back to it as much as the actual songs on this project, or even the Kodak Black interlude, I've come to sort of appreciate the lyrical ability that he was showing on that interlude. A lot of the shit that I was missing from the Melodic Blue album, I wanted him to get a little bit more deeper and introspective, especially if I don't know you that well. Like, I just met you, Baby Keem. You gotta let us know who you are. And I think this interlude pretty much shapes up what Baby Keem has gone through up until this point of meeting his cousin Kendrick and, you know, pretty much getting put on, because I mean, he did get put on. I ain't hating, that's just facts. Like, he need to give him an interlude, but he gave it to him. And he put him on the song after. Shout out Baby Keem. But I do think Kendrick is riding a slippery slope with putting Baby Keem or placing Baby Keem on this project as much as he is, or putting a spotlight on him as much as he is, because however Baby Keem's career moves forward, it's going to affect how this album ages or how people look at this album as a whole. If Baby Keem goes on to be this big artist on PG Lang, and he's definitely the successor to Kendrick, if he lives up to that hype, I feel like the hype of this album is also going to go with that. Same thing if he goes down in hype. I feel like the album is going to go down in hype, because they're going to be like, bam, Baby Keem, what the fuck, what happened? So another bold move in my opinion, Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem's career is truly connected now. Because even with him hopping on Family Ties and Range Brothers, those two tracks are not even going to be close to the significance of, you know, the placement that he has on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and even the mentions throughout the album. Yeah, I know I said I was going to be done talking a little bit ago, but I just got to mention that I love the transparency that's going on in hip hop right now. And I think this album is going to move the goalpost even more further within the genre. In my eyes, this isn't my favorite Kendrick Lamar album, because I mean, he got some great company with Good Kid, Mad City, Section 80, Damn, To Pimp a Butterfly. Like, I don't even know where to rank it right now, but right now I'm gonna rank it at, I'm gonna say about 4, 3, 4. Damn. All right, hold on. Good Kid, Mad City, Section 80. Ooh, Mr. Morale. I gotta put Mr. Morale before Damn. I just got to. And honestly, when I think about it, To Pimp a Butterfly might be better than Damn in my opinion. But that's just me though. But yeah, I put this third on my list. I'm subject to change too because a lot of my albums are interchangeable. I don't know. It depends on the mood I'm feeling because Section 80 is great. Good Kid, Mad City is great. And I feel like years down the line, this is going to be looked at as great. No, it's on you, Baby Keem. Nah, I'm just playing. Everything from the transparency to the relatability to, you know, giving me what I wanted. I wanted to know what was going on, and you literally just gave it all to me. It's really nothing for me to know now. That's one of my gripes with this album. I didn't want to know everything, but you told me everything. And, you know, I like it, but I don't. I think the mystique and mysteriousness of Kendrick Lamar has taken a hit by releasing this album because he got so personal. But I feel like that's okay because whatever he has going with PG Lang, I feel like it's going to be totally different from anything that he's done on these projects with TDE. We gotta see. I'm expecting him to rap next time though. Even though he rapped on this project, y'all know what I mean. Real Kendrick fans, y'all know what I'm talking about. I need that. I need that now. He give me what I want now. You gave me what I wanted on this project. Now you got to give me what I want now. Now, I'm definitely not one of them fans that's looking forward to a new Kendrick project or a new Kendrick single next year or even the year after that because I kind of see what he's building with PG Lang over there, and I'm actually interested to see what else he has for us. This is my album of the year, and not just hip hop. This is my album of the year. I'm standing on that. Because while listening to this project, I took a long look at Don FM, Few Good Things. Those are just the two I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna give you my whole list. But yeah, Mr. Morale is at the top of my list so far 2022. And I wouldn't be surprised if it stays there because I feel like this is gonna be a hard album to follow, especially for the top acts like Drake, Kanye. Well, not Kanye because Kanye does what he does, but Drake, Cole. I said that I think that Kendrick's album is going to make those albums look like garbage. And I wouldn't say that because I feel like he went in a totally different direction than those three did. Kind of bowed out, and that's cool. Kanye bowed out too with a gospel album and getting everybody on it. But, you know, I'm about to give up on the Mount Rushmore beef. I'm giving up on it because it doesn't seem like these dudes like each other or hate each other. Only mention of Drake and Kanye on this album was pertaining to him. It wasn't even about them. He just said they name for shock value. Damn, man. Like I tried so hard to read into that, but it was nothing to read into. Guess I'm not mature as I think. Got some healing to do. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the album. Hopefully it's not too long-winded because there's definitely a lot of other thoughts that I might want to, you know, throw at y'all, but we got time. I could just make another video if that's the case. Let me know what y'all think about the album. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your album of the year? I need to know that too. Like, what's your album of the year? Put it down in the comments. You're going to have that dialogue like we always do. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm not going to be gone for long. I know I said that last video, but I wasn't expecting to get stuck in an igloo either. But yeah, y'all, I'm Snoopy. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. I know I keep saying that, but I really do. Love y'all. Yeah, I'm gone. See y'all. Let me just end the video, man.